Okay, who am I saying? Not do you with and so they who am I saying here? And I said, you can in it, sir. When no one Aqua Lily can you want aqua? I boom Biafra. Aqua Kaine do. Did I put you Biafra? Kafanaba na Nigeria to police you. Okonoria, you know, I know people. Jeez. Aponian do I change? And they cannot. Hamadite all the Kuribo. What does the Makia and the agent sit at home? When I see people, Makajina, Lapia was so Jehovah. Your son and you. Your done son and you. Your daughter will send and you. The good done send and you. I don't hear one communication, not an equal yet. Don't it work much on I just any near nonsense you. Oh, beyond your no, in a new people. I want my day. Pano had you. Aqua Lily can in aqua, I boom Biafra. Aqua Kaide. I cannot go Nigerian prisons. Go Sunday Biafra to make a child. On a dozen of mouth, Panano Ponibo. It's no more battle. The freedom. Never August. Don't learn to me so. A brand and sentence. Come say in Yakimwa, Salino Dinituma, Salodina Cuba, a brand and so do you will so grossias go somewhere. Okay, who am I saying? Not do you with and so they who am I saying here? And I said, you can in here, nonsense you. Oh, no, be pass in our body. At least, that's not your people, other man, yeah. I may know. Now, Biafra, Pana, in Negro, which we have played through. I want to like Biafra in Nigeria. People in Nigeria are bonds. Oh, now, what Papa in Negro, bonds in Naka. Aqua no Kaide, Aqua Kaide, Aqua Lily Kaina, I boom Biafra, Aqua Kaide, the Godina Konova Chukuchi Kosibo, Unafugo Kandabo Kijas, and system on a December, Panano Bonibo. Aqua Kaina, Aqua Kaide, Aqua Lily Kaina, I boom Biafra, Aqua Kaide, what is your natural in the war? What is your mebu? Naka said, and Yapania, that was in here. I never seen any buto. The Jamaican didn't go not a commandant on. At least,
Baba, For Biafra must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. We have come that the will of the Most High may prevail. Radio Biafra is unorthodox. The way we do things are markedly different from how others do it. We are under divine instruction. We have come that Chukwukika may take control of these very proceedings this evening, for we are nothing without him. O Elohim, Chukwukika Biama Puremi, unto thee we repose all that we are. Do not allow your children, IPOB, to be put to shame. Do not allow us to be devoured by the hands of the wicked. Do not allow us, O mighty one, to fall prey to those who do not know thee. You will deliver us, not because we are righteous, but because of your mercy. Hear our cry and our supplication. We are not armed. We have not killed anyone. We have not jailed anyone. We have not done anything at all to warrant the level of destruction and carnage being visited upon your children. The same way Israel suffered, so is Biafra suffering today. And if you, Elohim, can deliver Israel, so will you deliver Biafra. That is our hope. That is our anchor of everything that we hold dear as a race and as a people. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake Biafra will come. Israel lost people, and today Israel is here as a beacon of hope in a land filled with darkness. We beseech thee, Elohim, because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. We have come to honor your holy name. We have come to praise thee. We have come to honor thee, that your name may be glorified, adored, and praised forever and ever. Ise, Ise, Ise.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on your time zone. My name is Mazi Umeh. I reside here in the United Kingdom. As one of the principal servants of Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, North London to be precise. This is Good Evening London. And this is Biafra Radio worldwide. And today is another wonderful day. And today is the 23rd year of our Lord, August 2023. And it's 44 minutes on top of the hour in anywhere you are at the same time in the Holy Land of Biafra, which is 8:44 minutes past 8 p.m. in Biafra, Holy Land of Biafra, and United Kingdom as well. Tonight is a wonderful night, and this program is called Good Evening London on Biafra Radio. And I welcome you. As I welcome you, please welcome others. We are going to be diving into a couple of things tonight as a tradition. But before I start, I just want to reiterate again and remind those that the hardcore IPOB members, regardless what you might think, regardless what you are doing, how you're feeling doesn't change anything, because we have sworn an oath to restore Biafra. As we all know, there are so many of us that are disgruntled, misinformed, but you choose that path because you know there's one IPOB that Onyendu Mazi Umeh kind of found. And it is a laid down rules, which is our code of conduct structure that everybody must be followed. It doesn't matter how your feelings might be hurt. If you allow yourself to be hoodwinked, detrimental to your generation, that's all I can promise you. There is nobody, there's no other way around it. There is no back door around it. Mazi Umeh is held in DSS dungeon for over 2 years and counting. Is not because he loved being in prison. He loved his two parents. He's being kidnapped in 2015, 14th of October, if you have forgotten, which he told them that he was coming back home. And indeed, a lot of people think that Onyendu was talking, just like some people today having fun. It is not a wishful thinking. Freedom is not giving. He must, pay a price for it. You can't be on your own comfort zone and be ascribing for freedom. Is detrimental, because there's a price for every freedom. Even for you to acquire anything you do, qualification, there's a price for it. So regardless of you might feel, there's no back door to achievement. There must be a price. And that price that we have paid and continue to pay is that Mazi Umeh can have chosen to bear the burden upon every single one of unborn children of Biafra. That's the reason why. It's not questionable, but it's something that is visible. And they have acted upon his words. And Biafra Radio today is now speaking the voice of Mazi Umeh, because what we thought is a way of life. Biafra is our religion. We don't know any other religion, because when people start procrastinating, then he asks, where are they coming from? You go into school and you study, you learn. After 5 years, we spend years on Radio Biafra. Over these years, what did you learn? How could you be, suddenly be forgotten all the things you've been taught? It is very, very, very detrimental to every single one of us. Like I always said, I have got no issue with people's decision. The same way is religion. All you need to say, if you want to worship, sound is that up to you. But there's things we don't need to mix. Even though you go to work in any country, they preserve people's rights. There's things you must not avoid not to talk about, because it doesn't change anything. But the people's belief is saw something, they have to force down their throat. So what am I saying in essence is that, my fellow comrades and lovers of freedom, Biafra Radio have represent is what has brought that joy and that mechanism of IPOB, the camaraderie of IPOB one family. Where has IPOB one family been? You have not asked yourself this question. What have you done since Onyendu been rendition? Are you holding a legend to people that ought to know better? Or are you holding a legend to restore Biafra? Your allegiance only on Biafra represent under IPOB. You sworn an oath. As a comrade the other day that said something in the forum that I've been for a while, I preside a lot of people's oaths, and I will say it again. I resign this as a warning to every single one of us. Is a duty that you cannot, there's nothing you can do to get away from that oath. What that oath say you will do is what it's going to do. Onyendu said, in your quote, he said, any day I dream or I think of betraying Biafra, if Chukwuka Biama did not destroy his household, you know that Chukwuka Biama does not exist. So I indulge you. What we are saying here is that we are calling IPOB worldwide. Let me say something to you. Biafra is not It's not a deja vu. No, it's not a mirage. This is reality. And there's a way to, how do you restore Biafra when you don't have any plan? We had this 2015, people were chanting, oh, we have roadmaps. Onyendu was in prison. People wanted to hijack IPOB. I said it over time. What you're seeing today is no different. That is why people like us will not move. Because we are schooled well in IPOB and on Radio Biafra, and we follow the full path of our leader and follow that code of conduct. If you follow code of conduct, you will never go wrong. You won't have enemy. People might hate you, just like me. I don't have issues with individuals. What am I having? What are you, my brother or my sister? Of course not. What are you? Are you feeding me? Of course not. But the point is that what brought us together is the oath we took to restore Biafra. And that's what I'm back on. Just like when you go to work, there's a guiding principle. You might call it or code of conduct in your workplace. You must abide to it. The day you start deviating from that, you're going to have a problem with your employee, with your employer. Exactly how what we see in IPOB. A lot of people, I see people saying, oh, they tried so many groups. And when the people sound like that, you know that these are not IPOB members. We are not here to follow people. We were meant to restore Biafra in truth and be white and white and whiter than snow. That is exactly what IPOB was formed. And that is who our leader is. And our leader have not deviated for one day. The two parents has gone. Someone will tell me, oh, why is the kind of family involving in IPOB? And I goes, are you okay? You should have said that to His Royal Majesty and where's the law? No, they shouldn't have got involved. Both of you were singing and clapping when they were involved. You never told them, oh, this is not a family business. Suddenly now it's a family business. Because you people think you have arrived. So my monologue tonight is that I'm encouraging you as a fellow comrade, we must fall back into IPOB, the real IPOB. Every flank you've seen today, these are propagandists, people that try, these are people that jump on bandwagon. They have something they're ascribing for. They want something from IPOB. And I'll tell you what, I have got no issues with individuals. I keep on saying it. The people I have problem with are those Onyendu have given the duty of leadership, the mantra of leadership, in a sense that when I'm not there, I want you to pass these messages to whomever. Their job, if Chika Paul Edoziem was following the guidelines of IPOB, his job was administrative job. IPOB was structured in a way. That's why Onyendu always take a pride when he describes IPOB, because his powers in our code of conduct. And that is why a lot of people might end up in prison, because if you've been prosecuted, what will we throw? Just look at what happened in South Africa. When they went and do what they did, we went to court. The court asks organization, what principle guides you? Is our code of conduct that guides you in every country you are in. It can be interpreted. Once you interpret it, you found out that everybody will run away. It's not something. That's why I told him, I said, I don't argue. Personally, you're not in my lead. I don't need you for anything. But we are in struggle. And that struggle has been an interface between all of us. So that is the reason why I have to come down from my high horse to speak to some individual. If God forbidden that I didn't have my voice, what in earth will make me and you get contact to each other? I don't think that something like that would ever happen. But having said that, what I'm saying tonight is that so many of us have forgotten the foundation we were brought up in. That means that you were not embedded in IPOB, what IPOB was meant for. And that is what Biafra Radio have come. Because our focus was turned into a shred, and Onyendu has sent that to abyss. As it is today, is in IPOB archives. Biafra Radio has remained the mouthpiece of Biafra, and Onyendu, the day Onyendu will come out, Biafrans will know. Just like those that started confessing their sins to Biafrans. But tonight, like I rightly put up here, I want to clean. And when we want to drag the riffraffs on the mood, we step down to the lower chamber and deal with issues decisively. If I'm not mistaken, I said I was going to go more in depth on on the SAC lawyers and their conspiracy theory against Onyendu, Mazi Umeh, and IPOB at large. And definitely I'll be going, like I've been general analysis within IPOB and our African crisis. I'm definitely gonna have a touch on that. But having said that, that's something that is very, very imperative that we must understand. The double standard that the so-called SAC lawyers, if I need your fault to start with, I'm not going to be going into details and trying to pull up whatever happened, but some of you have overheard me said it before, and the documents are out there. Ejiofor falsified numerous documents against IPOB. It is not something hidden, and we will talk it on this radio because it's very, very imperative. Those people that say they're confused, those people that say they're depressed, this is time for you to start picking up your pieces where you have dropped them. But we must guide you. If you have difficulties, ask questions. We'll give you direction, sense of belongings, and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm saying tonight is very simple. Zekome, that's something that just came up. And it's quite disheartening, because I need to talk about this. Even though that these individuals has been relieved their position as the legal representative to Onyendu, is very, very important. People understand the position of IPOB and our leader. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this thing up here is because when people speak, they forgot what they have said. Just like when they tell the judgment that were given to Onyendu, Zekome was not there in person. He traveled to Miami. If I knew Ejiofor, send a Fulani man to go and tell the order that we won in court. Some of us forgotten the day they got this date of 14th of September that Zekome, give a press release after this sitting. Him and Ifeanyi Ejiofor went and gave this date. Nobody know what they discussed. And the man said it there. It was because of the so-called their annual leave. That was the reason why the Supreme Court annual leave, that's why they push it on 14th of September, 2023. He specifically mentioned that it was because of their annual leave. Now, one question you should be asking Ezekome, when was the last time, even though you've been sacked and still positioning yourself, because all these things is about the way they get funds from the zoo. And this is the agent of the provocateur and the evil men around to make sure that our leader is men in DSS dungeon. Now, you can see this thing was written on 2nd of August. This is 2nd of August. 2nd of August. This man wrote this. On the 11th. This particular memo, if I call it a memo, was on 2nd of August 2023. And he said, on the 11th of May 2023, the above appeal came up before the Supreme Court, and they were adjourned to 14th September 2023 for definite hearing. Remember, it was Zekome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Only them went in and get this date. Nobody else. I remember on this interview, I had another video where Ejiofor was the person went that same day to go and visit Onyendu. None of these individuals stepped in the DSS dungeon. They were busy giving press release to the zoo. Now, if you come down, he said, perhaps it was not known to the Honorable Court at that time that the Supreme Court will still be on its annual recession by the 14th of September 2023. Are you joking me? Are you joking me? I don't think someone understands. This man has been the advocate, because the reason why is because this guy, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I don't know if our people are paying attention. This is who's supposed to be defending our leader. He's conceding against our opponent without even them saying a word. They should be the one pulling this particular memo out to defend themselves why they could not because they have given us date already. But guess what? The case is reversed because this man does not work for Onyendu, but these are the people that are undermining our leaders' judicial process in the zoo, which Onyendu have not case to answer. Remember that our leader was kidnapped in Kenya. On the 19th of June and 29th, they brought to the zoo. He committed no crime known to man, because before you try Mazi Umeh, you must first of all establish where he brought him from. Which tomorrow much while we know our leader is a prisoner of conscience, and his fundamental right has been abused. Now, for avoidance of that, this is how these people will continue to expose their evil. This is the same person that we are meant to be our defender in court, defending Onyendu to get Onyendu his right. He's the one now considering and doing the job for the people that were supposed to be fighting against. He's telling us that he did not know, but the man said it in his interview that it was because of their annual recess, that's why they gave them 14 days. And he said they did not know that will still be in their recess till 14th of September. But you collected this date yourself. Very, very important. I'm saying this because we need to know these people are not working for Onyendu. IPOB, the real IPOB must understand that this is our number one enemies we've got. I said it before, it was hired, but probably recommended by somebody, and the Jofor have attached themselves to this man so much, and that is why from day one, I never trusted this man. I know that the man was a mediocre. We can see through people from a distance. And they have made a lot of blunder. You know, all this cake English that he's speaking, looking at copying word from dictionary is not what doesn't for those that don't know English word, that the people that are going to be confused, not people like us. Now, I'm indulging his own words because I'm going to play his video. Because after I want you to underline the word where he said that Supreme Court will still be on its annual recession by the 14th of September 2023, to which the above appeal were adjourned, and that it will not resume till 18th September 2023 and start sitting on 25th September 2023. All this garbage wouldn't supposed to be coming out from this man. That's number one. All this whole thing is lies. They knew what they were doing. He's now the one exacting the date. Not the Supreme Court have not put any press release saying, oh, we couldn't do what we should do. Oh, we fall short. No. Or they send it to him. All these are lies. He was part of this whole, gimmicks they're playing with our leader. And this is the reason why this man and his cohort has been sacked. Because if a Zekome will come out and told you that he has went to see Mazi Umeh and ask him, when was the last time he sat down with Onyendu and speak as his defense lead counsel, whatever you want to call it. Now, he goes on to say, with the above background and the extenuating circumstances and the peculiar fact of this appeal, which involve the liberty and crucial health condition of Occurrence and brackets Nnamdi Kanu, we humbly pray. You see, when they start saying pray, know that these people are not qualified to be your attorney. A lawyer will not be using the word pray. Pray for what? Pray for what? What are you praying for? You've been given a job to do. If you want to pray, we could go consult a pastor. Not a pastor. You say your psalm. But here you praying that my Lord may kindly fix the appeal for 28th of September when the criminal appeal session commences. I mean, when you listen to this, how can this man be a defender to Mazi Umeh? A man that played in the gallery. This man and a Jofor is the biggest setback that we have, even though we Mazi Umeh did not have any case to answer. The whole world is aware of this. But for avoidance of doubt, it is imperative we know the truth. This same man that they call Sam, because they think we forget things. We don't forget things. We keep things when you least expected. We will give it to you. Now, this same man, this is the same man we're talking about. This man collected an award from dead Buhari. This is the award he collected from dead Buhari. This is why I'm bringing all these things up tonight, because this is very, very disheartening that these guys will be playing ping pong with our leaders' freedom, based that they are the primary enemies we have. Now they're becoming emboldened because all this junk he just watched amounted to nothing. But I want to play his audio concerning the day they got this date, and you hear what he said with his own mouth.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, today's proceedings border essentially on the main appeal, which we believe was ripe for hearing. When this case came up on the 27th of April, Thursday, 27th of April, the Supreme Court ordered the federal government to file their brief of argument as appellant within 6 days. They had asked for 5 days, but the Supreme Court was gracious enough to give them 6 days. They did not file that brief until Tuesday. Even when they filed it on Tuesday, I discovered that the brief was 53 pages, more than the threshold of the 40 pages allowed by the Supreme Court. I'm not the kind of lawyer to embarrass opponents. So I told the Supreme Court.
This is the same person. Just, it is not for anything, but for us to clarity. Listen to him. He was meant to be aggressive against our opponent. That is why we employed you in the first place. By then, he was not being sacked then, but you could hear him now, sentimentally trying to put himself in a position that, he's not the kind of lawyer. Why are you getting paid for? It's quite absurd. But I want him to carry on, because we want to hear when he's emphatically, commented about the reason why they gave that 14th of September 2023. Now he's the same person pulling memory again, contradicting himself. I don't understand it. And you have to sit back and ask yourself a question. Why and what is the purpose of this individual? What are they for? What do they want to achieve? Very, very important.
I told Ghazali SCN from the Federal Ministry of Justice and his junior, I called them and then also wrote to them that the practice and convention at the Supreme Court is that a brief should not exceed 40 pages. So they had to file another one on Wednesday, which they served us late on Thursday. We had only the weekend to prepare our own respondents brief, which we duly filed on Tuesday in the morning and served them. So from all intents and purposes, the appeal was ripe for hearing. But today, the federal government came and said they wanted to file a reply brief. I told their counsel, you can even, these points of law you are showing me which you want to file formally, you can stand up and say them orally, verbally, and we will not oppose. In any event, you are saying we raised a preliminary objection in our brief. It was raised in our brief, not as a separate document. But I believe that their own intention was to stall the proceedings, because he said he had the instruction of the Attorney General that he must reply to it. I said, no one is saying you should not reply, but it doesn't have to be in a written form. You can reply orally. We have all done it now and again by replying orally, verbally. He would not do that. So the Supreme Court said, in order not to show them out, they will give them a short time to file the reply within 2 days. Then I begged the Supreme Court, I pleaded with the Supreme Court to give us the shortest possible date, even this month or early next month. But they looked at their calendar and their docket that is pitiably full. It's so unfortunate this is the busiest Supreme Court in the world, because all manner
this is his word. You know, like I said, we don't like to say things without proving what we've said. This video went on where he says that he's peacefully fooled, and the only time they could allow because of their annual recess is 14th of September 2023. And now he went back again and saying, he himself said it with his own mouth, not me. Now, he now went back again, announced he's the same person coming back again and defending the particular date they gave. Because if you go in and listen to what he says here, he is now building defense for them. It's not like the Supreme Court have come out and say anything or written anything openly, because this is an international case. Supreme Court have not uttered a word, but this is its own word. Now, he's the one defending the Supreme Court that the Supreme Court did not, Supreme Court would still be. Perhaps it was not known. He said, perhaps it was not known to the Honorable Court at the time. How wouldn't they know about the annual recess? How wouldn't they know? But he said it with your own mouth on interview. Principally food, and that because of that, why they push it to September 14th. And now you same person come back again. You know, the reason why I'm stressing on this is because it's about time our people stop playing games. What you could see is that everybody, but you know, one thing I know is that Onyendu Mazi Umeh is aware of all these things. Onyendu said, if you know what you could do to restore Biafra, do it. And if you know what you could do to stop Biafra from not being restored, do it as well. So you see, all these people you see in today, some people are saying that they are this, they are that. None of them are real. And that's why over time, they will continue to expose their evil agenda. He just shot himself in the foot here. It is very clear. The reason why is because of the annual recess. That's why they got 14th of September. But here he's saying perhaps it was not known to the Honorable Court at that time that the Supreme Court will still be on its annual recess by the 14th of September. How wouldn't they know this is a fundamental question? And the Supreme Court has not put any writing up anything publicly to say, you know what, we still on our recess, or they're writing it to you. It didn't show any document proving that, but this is from you. Defending them now, begging again, you are begging, you are appealing to them to push to 28th of September. Onyendu will still be in prison, be in DSS dungeon. 14th to 28th. It's another 14 days. Another 2 weeks after, do as you guys have concocted it. So when you put all this whole thing in perspective, you ask, who are these individuals? Who are they? They don't represent Onyendu. The reason why I pointed this out in Biafra Radio, because it's very, very important that our people know who our enemies are. These people does not represent Mazi Umeh, they don't represent IPOB. That's one thing I want you to take to bank, and I will rest it there. Now, there's something I need to do. you know, like I said, this is Biafra Radio, but we have to talk about things that concerns Onyendu when it comes to Onyendu's issue. Nothing, there's no boundary that we can't speak about it on this platform. Now, the Benjamin Madubugu's mediocrity last week and his confession after 8 months, they stopped him not to go and see Onyendu because Onyendu specifically requested. In that particular memo, which I can bring up here, is that Benjamin Madubugu, I don't want to mention names, but Madaka Madu was mentioned on 11th. Yeah, and Madaka Madu, he says there, Madaka Madu reports immediately to him through counsel the reason for the insecurity in Imo State. He said to him, Onyendu, it wasn't to Onyendu. Madaka Madu was given instruction what to do. Madaka Madu was given instruction on this memo. Madaka Madu is part of the problem we have. He's from Iyala. And the issue we have is, you know, because they divided us. They will say we have boundary in Osumo and all that kind of BS, which I don't believe in it. Now, that's why when I looked at him, when he started talking, some of them don't know that we don't just talk about things. But I will talk likely on this platform. I'm coming on air on Friday with Mazi Umeh on Biafra Power Media. It's going to be a different scenario of program. Now, this on 11, he said, Madaka Madu, which is Benjamin Madubugu, report immediately to him through counsel the reason for the insecurity in Imo State. Ask Madaka Madu, who is him that he was ordered to report to? Did he address that to Onyendu when he opened his mouth and said he confronted our leader? This particular message was from Madaka Madu, which is Benjamin Madubugu, because they think that some of us are into the struggle to make friends or do what. We don't just come out and say things, we say things with evidence. Until Madaka Madu, as he came out now, they're calling him for interview, those irats. Then don't forget to ask him, on the package your first memo, on item 11, Madaka report to him. Who was him? And what did he do with this message from Onyendu? And what Onyendu told him, because he came out to talk about what he discussed with Onyendu, which he was bluntly lying against our leader, jeopardizing our. He shouldn't say. Even Onyendu give you message that's the amount, but God might have it. He give out the proper message that required. And this has been our argument from day one. IPOB is in disarray today. Some of you today are in confused. The reason being because Chike Doziem and his cohort disobeyed Mazi Umeh. There's nothing else. Our argument has been that the Onyendu word remain is a final, is a law within IPOB. If Onyendu says stop, it doesn't matter what is involved, we must stop. It doesn't, I don't care who you are. If Onyendu cough, you must listen. And it is in our code of conduct. And when he's sworn on oath, he's sworn on oath when it's under his name. So that's one thing I want to clarify tonight as well. Because, you know, they're playing cabal. We warn them about cabal. Cabal is not allowed with that. You will be only one about it. But some of them didn't keen. They didn't understand what our leader was, you know, referencing to. But I want to play the voice of these two men because it's important for a reason. I say, like, I don't want to go too deep, but let's listen to it again as I move forward.
National.
Because of stop us at home. Have I stop on immediately? Then I continue to message at home. Open the announcement,
Now, he's not actually talking about sit at home that Onyendu suspended 72 hours before China Samoru defined every order and when announced it on Radio Biafra. He was involved. Benjamin Imadu was among them. He was in the meeting where they agreed to go and announce it. He's ranting here like a mad dog, like someone that have taken under influence of alcohol or drugs. Thinking that when you look at him, you think there's something in his head or he's being sincere. No. He's a psychophant. We will continue to talk about this. I must continue to play his voice because our argument from day one is that Chike Doziem and his cronies flaunted our leader's order. He cannot do that. It's unacceptable. I don't care who you are. Now, the point, every ranting he have ranted, the only point you must take is this. The chaotic in the IPOB, the death in Biafra land is because of singular disobedience. I told them before, I said the day the judgment day will come, none of you will escape it. You can do whatever you want to do with Onyendu's name. Like Onyendu have given some people restrictions, and they still continue, to dabble into our leader's name and IPOB, which all of you were there, allowed it. Madam, don't play double standard. We know all your dealings. And if you express further, like we always do, we will naked you completely. We will naked you completely. You want nothing. You are part of you are the one that called Chike Doziem the leader. Remember, in a meeting, it suggested that Chike Doziem now is the leader. Not even the former deputy have never for one day sat a meeting talk about leader when our leader was in prison. That's how low all of you are. And that's why I said that even those species of renegade in 2015 are 1 million times better than all of you put together. But we'll continue. I want you to talk. The reason why he's mentioning all this name is because he knows that Ifeanyi Ejiofor never met. What message have Ifeanyi Ejiofor given to IPOB that was backed up? Not one message. Ejiofor started concocting lies from the moment Onyendu was rendition. Ejiofor never met Onyendu for almost 9 weeks. Ejiofor forged guidance principle and allow them to open Umeh account under Onyendu said. He's sitting behind Ejiofor. Ejiofor is one telling him what to say. It's quite obvious. That's why I know Ejiofor is not a qualified lawyer. In a sense, something shouldn't be. Because what he's talking here, he has not even said that Onyendu said. Go and check all this report. Is the copy and paste. He never changes his pattern of message. Shows that he never get any message from our leader. You have to mention Ejiofor. Now you have mentioned Ejimako, mentioned Nemeke Ejiofor. So I ask you again, Benjamin Madubugu, since he knew that Nemeke Ejiofor was Onyendu that sent him, why didn't you act upon the number 11 that Onyendu instructed you to go and meet him and contact him through the council concerning insecurity in Imo State? You people were the people that desolate Biafra land. You people started killing people, kidnapping. You guys started it first. It's on record. It's not some China Samoru, the hiding one who don't know who he is, including yourself. Thank God people know you. Because most of the crime that committed, you are part of it. I want to say it tonight for people to know. Like I said, if you want to rant more, we'll do a special program for your sake. A proper program. I will come out fully. Have you ever heard him talk again? Where is he? Let him come out. Let him come out if he has balls. So what we are saying here is that at the end of the day, it can't be lying to Onyendu's name as if Onyendu is alive. Onyendu is reachable. Chike Doziem confirmed with his own mouth. But you now saying that all the messages coming from the lawyers, but Chike doesn't threaten that they are going to kill Ejimako. There's no kind of threat, including yourselves, all of you guys threatening him. We have all these things in record. I'm saying it loud and clear on Biafra Radio. This is consigned IPOB. This is not saga. This is something that have to do with our leader's life. And he come out and be ranting. Even when you give you messages, you send that message to who the message was meant for, not public consumption. That because you don't have legal rights to make things public. But now you have told us, and we have heard you. That is our argument from day one was that Onyendu's order is in our code of. That's why I said, if any of these riffraff they stop you in any country you're living, just get a lawyer. All you need to give them is our code of conduct. You don't have to argue with them. All these principles are, you know, like I was talking to somebody this evening, talking about some people are scared, they will remove them. Any principal servant that is scared is those that are looking for paper. I'm not saying it with apology. Any IPOB hardcore that still say they believe in DOS, not DOS, or the dot, because DOS is the body that governs IPOB. They don't represent IPOB anymore. That's because you're scared because of Chikerism is going to write memo under his basement in Switzerland. You are there because you are looking for something. UK is an exemplar. That 80% of people here that are in position here, I never knew that all of them are asylum seekers. I'm not saying it, I'm not hiding it anymore. This is an open something. It's disgusting. Because we swore an oath. So you sold your generation because of your paper. He's scared of Chikerism. Who is Chikerism? Chikerism have defined his signatory was now a code of conduct, which will put him in prison. Because we take him to court will ask, so this man is the person that actually signed this and behaving like this. The day I know that Chikerism is not a human being, the day he said he sacked UK national coordinator and he read our code of conduct, I was like, is this man okay? Is he normal? If you take Chikerism to court, they put him in dock, and they read our code of conduct, at the end of his signature was there. You put him in concerning the issue they are brought to court as an IPOB member, they will put him in prison. You go to prison. Straight away, he's going to jail. That thing, this is a joke. And they could not raise common restraint order against Simon Ekpa when Simon was started. They were busy trying to raise money in his platform. That's why we get where we are today. Because they did it because they know they want to destroy IPOB within. That was their mission. Nothing else. Today, people will tell you, oh, we are confused, we are this, we are that. Oh, when you say, go and listen to Simon Ekpa, Don't you tell Simon Ekpa, don't allow this, don't allow devil to take over you. You don't quote that particular verse. Some of the riffraffs that started this autopilot now, some of them are confessing. Because none of you were IPOB members. If you're hardcore, nobody will move you. Onyendu will always speak at the end of this, say the hardcores. He knows. He asked me my position. Which position? I have only one position. IPOB has sworn oath, and I've given everything I work for in my whole entire life for this. It's not a joke.
Ozi Maswell, Barrister Maswell, Obara Lazy, Bozi Yamasri. Ozi Barrister Chukwemeka Ejiofor Lazy, Bozi Yamapon Industry. I want to give a fortune.
Biafra Alpha Power Media International.
Yeah. So, Biafrans, from where I stopped, I was talking about how our brother Mazi Umeh, we tried to make sure he visited Mazi Umeh. And Mazi Umeh on several occasions have asked him to come and see him in the BSS dungeon, which we have tried on many occasions and failed. But, Chukwu Kabiama is great. Last month, when we asked him to come also, he went there. He could not see him. But so God, with infinite mercy, last Thursday, he went there and he was able to meet Mazi Umeh. And we realized also for the fact that there is nobody from the leadership who goes directly or who can be able to communicate to Mazi Umeh. That people took that opportunity to blackmail IPOB leadership. They took that opportunity to blackmail
You know that anybody that is very sorry, like I was trying to say, I said that anybody that is devilish in mind will always, I believe, on assumption. They prevented Benjamin in Malbu over 8 months to go and see Onyendu, but they've forgotten there's a reason for it. And as it finally happened, if you see what Benjamin in Malbu made Onyendu, there was one particular picture that where he pegged Onyendu on his cheek. And to me, that peg was the peg that Judas gave Yahweh on the movie that we watched. I don't know if it's true or real, but as that story might have it, that's exactly serpent peg that he gave our leader, because they are the same people sparking Onyendu behind his back. You know, but all of them now, that same visit has exposed everything that we have argued for. The thing that has brought, that's why I'm talking to comrades tonight. The reason why I'm emphasizing on this is some of you that say you're confused. There is no need of you being confused, because at the end of the day, the argument was, even I remember asking Austin Alban in a meeting in UK here. The whole people that were in the meeting, all this, I didn't know that all of them were sound sick. They all were attacking me. Or some of them were a part of people that were sharing the money who have contributed. But I never fringe. I asked Austin Alban a question. After they are back like a mad dog, I said, Austin Alban, can you answer my question, please? Did the Onyendu authorize you to remove our national coordinator? His answer to me was that Onyendu knows everything they are doing. That our national coordinator have access to Onyendu. He never asked me he gave me any specific answer based on the question. As a leader, he portrayed to be European way for that matter. I took it that he was lying to himself. That is why the man, he worth nothing to me. To first I leave, is one of the most dangerous human beings you want to get in contact with in IPOB, Austin Alban. That nitwit. Anywhere you see that guy is more devilish than any other person you can ever get in contact with. Now, God might have it now. They now expose what we talked about, and Chinas, this guy not watching us and himself now, confessed. Someone told me that this has been before, but I don't recall, where he admitted that he was talking to Onyendu on the phone on the same day Onyendu was kidnapped. But he told the people that he was the first person that came to the Biafra to say that it was Canon Takan. When they asked Canon Takan where Onyendu was, he never told them. He analyzed the story, how they spoke to Canon Takan and spoke to Caroline. None of them want to say where Onyendu was. That they didn't know that Onyendu was in Kenya. They all denied it, including Chikedozem. But later we found out they were meant to have meeting that day, including Madam. All of them, including them in America, they all know where Onyendu was in Kenya. With his own mouth. I want you to listen to it before I comment on this, because I have a reason why I'm saying this on Biafra Radio. I want Biafrans to understand that we need to fall back, because the time of confusion has come and gone, unless those seeking for something. If you're pure and believe in Onyendu, the time is now, because if you stop contributing in IPOB or start paying your monthly due or start doing your duties as an oath member, it has a consequence. Mark my word somewhere. And when you're shouting sit at home on Monday, but you don't want Onyendu to come out, because when you talk about sit at home is not gonna get Onyendu out of prison. He's done it for 2 years now. He's been abused. We were doing sit at home from 2016 for a purpose. He served for it. It started from Mahatma Gandhi. Everything too much of everything is bad. It's abuse. Even though our people have accepted that Monday, then nobody take glory or saying that, oh, it's because of them. No, it's not because of you. Our people have accepted, even including myself, when that was instituted, we all supported it. But the moment we had that Onyendu say, we never knew that Onyendu suspended that statum 72 hours. That's why we were meticulous in our dealings. We never jumped up and start talking. We take time, gather information, because you won't tell me where George may have gone wrong. If you have where we have gone wrong, please bring it up. Fact check whatever we have said in the past. And now we are in this hallowed platform. We have to go back from how all this whole thing started. So for avoidance of doubt, right? Now, they are doing open confession. Very, very imperative. So people grasp at this.
To Mazi Umeh, that people took that opportunity to blackmail IPOB leadership. They took that opportunity to blackmail everybody they think that will be a hindrance for them to be able to hijack the struggle. That was what had been happening for 2 years. Because I could remember the day Mazi Umeh was kidnapped. Everything was in order. We were communicating. Like I said, I continue to say it. I was communicating with him on that particular day until he told me, okay, I will get back to you. And that was the last day. And suddenly, we were communicating. Like I said, I continue to say it. I was communicating with him on that particular day until he told me, okay, I will get back to you. And that was the last day. And suddenly, when Mazi Umeh we were communicating, like I said, I continue to say it. I was communicating with him on that particular day until he told me, okay, I will get back to you. And that was the last day. And suddenly, we were communicating, like I said, I continue to.
It's very important that the reason for playing this particular 2 audio tonight, and I will continue to play it anytime I come on Biafra Radio. That's why I kept it on small version. I know there's so many people that contacted me, which is some of my members. There's a particular mother that called me one morning. He sent me a message. He said, George, he said, I can't take this anymore. Because those that sold our leader and no one is saying anything, their hands was pointing on the DO and so-called some of this member of DOS, which is Tina Sanwo is the primary suspect and Chike Doziem. Tina Sanwo have confessed here now. It's not me. So I want Biafra to stay. And I'm apologizing to some of those people. I never said anything. I already told them I can't say what I don't know. I'm under oath. I'll be careful on what I said. I don't accuse people what I'm not sure of. Now, I'm not going to come out and say, oh, Tina Sanwo sold our leader. Just like I said, I've accused Canon Takano. And Onyendu, through his lawyer as well, said that none of these people, their hand is not there. That was official. So, like what Benjamin Imanu said, he doesn't have the legal right to say it. He should have come through a legal means, not through him. Because a Jofo know that Onyendu, a Jofo cannot tell you when was last time Onyendu speak to him and he give him any message concerning IPOB. It's unheard of. He can't recall. So the reason why I'm pointing this out tonight is that it is not hearsay. This is China Sanwo open his own mouth and say, and that day Onyendu was kidnapped, that he was on the phone with Onyendu. That means China Sanwo was the actual person that led our leader to those that kidnapped him. Because he was on phone with our leader. Because he was it's a tracker. Tracking him, and someone have to keep him alive to be tracked. So they were calling, all of them were calling him, including Madame Oyibo, including Nelly, all of them, all these evil kakus, we are calling our leader. But they engaged him to make sure Onyendu was actually, the location was notified. And he was apprehended, kidnapped, tortured for 8 days. And they all saying, Tina Sanwo say he was talking to Onyendu, someone he talked to on a daily basis. So, why would Tina Sanwo didn't raise an alarm that I spoke to Onyendu yesterday? I want Biafrans to go back and sleep. This is Biafra Radio, the mouthpiece of Biafra. Now, I want you to go because I said I will not accuse anybody. I did not know who kidnapped Onyendu. And I, George, you may know that Onyendu is not searching for those that kidnapped him because our leader said, I'm going to lead from the front. Someone have to give him up. Just like I said, the peg that Benjamin Imanu will give our leader in prison, in court, shows that he's part of those that sold Onyendu. Benjamin Imanu is part of those that sold Onyendu. Because why I'm saying this tonight, because of what is ranking, for all of them were involved. Someone said, because Ejiofor could not go and see Onyendu 9 weeks. Onyendu was brought back to the zoo. He couldn't stand our leader. All these things are, boomerang. Now, as God might have it, he have come out of his mouth that he was in that day. Now, the question is, they told you that Kanu said Onyendu was praying in the mountain for 8 days, but Chinasawo just said that he was on the phone in the same day. But I have never heard him said it before. But what happened after that day? You didn't hear from your leader. He didn't ask for 8 days. He didn't say anything. If you didn't know what happened to him, people's assumption, any rumor, there has always been a truth on it. I will leave it there for you to judge. Now, this is Biafra Radio, but anything that concerns our leader, we have to talk about it on this radio. Very, very important, in a very mild way. I'm not meaning antagonizing anybody, which I never do. But as the policy required, there's a particular tweet I want to pull up here for a reason. Very, very important. I'm pulling it because of some of you in both sides of aisle. None of these individuals represent Mazi Umeh. These people are all looking for something. I've said it over time. I personally have got nothing against Simon Ekpa and what he does. You know why? Because for me, he's not a member of IPOB. He doesn't have a duty care to IPOB. If he wishes to do Biafra agitation, it's open. It's an open court. You say do whatever you do to restore Biafra. But when this guy started encroaching in IPOB, which they allowed him, Biafra Radio, Chikedozie and his cronies allowed this guy into meetings. As soon as Onyendu was renation, because all of them knew that Onyendu will not survive. So all they were trying to do is, what can we get? Their job then was, how can we get money? Austin Albany was saying, go and raise funds. They were the 7,000 America. They shared it among themselves to destroy IPOB finance, because they know once they get IPOB finance, the radio, then IPOB will die natural death. That was the agenda. Get the finance, get the radio. They succeeded to hijack the radio, but radio is dead on arrival. Now, the reason why I brought up this particular tweet is that the same person that is saying that he doesn't take out that from someone that is in DSS dungeon. I sit down to question the mental well-being of our people. In this country, mental health issue is something that is very critical in this country. And I'm telling you the truth, if we go back on our people to do mental health assessment on our people, you will find out that 80% of our people are mental ill in the way they reason and think. This young man, what I know is that he's catching a cruise. But one thing I must tell him is that Biafra is not a joke. And many people have died. What we want from day one, when we came out, we gave them option. The option we gave them, they couldn't do it because all of them are in it together. Cannot activated, which I've told them. Some of you today are singing behind Simon Ekpa. Over time, you quote, when you say, go and listen to Simon Ekpa. He said, go and listen to more than 20 people when they gave him that list. But Simon Ekpa was the only man Onyendu make a reference to. Do not allow devil to take over you, enter your head, or however Onyendu put it. But Onyendu knew who this guy was. And George Umeh said it over time. This guy does not believe in Biafra. I will say it again. He does not believe in Biafra. I'm not saying what he's doing. He does not believe in Biafra. There are so many people. I said, he's just like a pastor that is defrauding people, doesn't believe in God. Some of them have that fetish they're doing. We can see it. Since Pentecostal came, Pentecostal destroyed mental well-being of our people. Somebody can ask you to be praying. You forgot that you have to go and walk. You pray 7 times a week. The time you're wasting is supposed to be using to go and do work. You're using it to go and pray. Night vigil and all that kind of nonsense. Prayer without work is dead on arrival. And that is the position we'll find ourselves now. Now, this is what he said, breaking. I have received message from Mazi Umeh today, 18th August 2023, that we must intensify our efforts for Biafra, that we should not listen to any of his lawyer, whatever they say. He asked him a question. where did he get this message from? The same person that is not well in GSS dungeon. You know, it's very, very important. I want all of you that are confused and now start thinking. There's a particular guy I'm going to play his audio for a reason why I'm putting all this to it. I want to play that guy's voice because he was one of the guys that were, because when he see your IPOB member, our leader is in prison, he jumping from one pillar to pole. That means you don't know your left from your right. But I'm making this abundantly clear tonight. I'm saying it for those that IPOB member to regain your common sense and reevaluate the way you reason. The same person that we are arguing about Onyendu handwriting. You don't listen to your lawyer, he will listen to you. How did he get this message? Have you asked him, how did you get this message if it's from Onyendu? These are contradictory individuals because over time, when you're lying, your lie will always expose you. I've said it before. If you have an agenda, I've got no problem with whatever you do. Wherever anyone that wants to contribute money into your pocket entirely up to their money, I'm not asking people not to contribute money. After all, those are giving 10% to their pastors that did nothing. This is what we were sold in Pentecostal. It will work every month. Those are working. You take 10% from your hand money and give to somebody that's in his house doing nothing, praying for me that I cannot pray for myself. All these are innuendos. I believe in God. Charity, that's why in this country people give charity. And it will be accounted for. What we actually doing, that's the way of our life, because we are people that we believe in charity. But they connived our people, manipulated us, telling you, give me 10%. I was in Winners Chapel for how many years? We were paying 10%. I was leaving London here and go Chilo. On his personal pockets. Not for community. Nobody's questioning what to do with the money. We can't see what to do with the money. He got bosses people paid for, and people will still pay. Even people will lose their last 10 naira and pay for that boss every Sunday to go to church. Are they not evil people? Are they not evil? These are evil men in disguise. So why I'm saying this is tonight is that, people should stop playing games. This is not game. So many souls have died. Within the family, 2 parents have died. Jack was involved. His cousins was involved. 28 men fell. And so many people have died and all sacrificed a lot to get to where we are as an IPOB member. That's why we will not allow those outside, people that in other fence to thwart what we have done. Because people have paid with their blood. Unless you're not an IPOB member, you don't understand what I'm talking about. I don't have any issue with anybody. Only to say whatever I've said it before. If Simon Ekpa has anything to offer for Biafra, he should have his own agenda. You see all this Biafra exile, government in exile, they are the 4th one, right? They should roll their agenda and roll with it. Like I said, some of you one day will quote us like now they're quoting themselves. The day Simon will be apprehended, some of you will be shouting, oh, but I thought he was. This is a warning. That was a clear communique to this young man. Stop using Onyendu and the entire kind of family and IPOB name in any of your dealings. I will call it that criminality, because when you start extorting money from people based on lies and falsehood, that become an issue. Because they attack Madam Nyanya. Now, have they given an account of money they collected from you people? Of course not. How many groups have they formed within this period of time, 2 years? How many groups have they formed? That's what tells you all. Only you said it. All the community people have formed after Biafra War. Once they share money, they will have issue. And look at it. Only people stood until today, and we're still standing. How many groups have they formed on top of this particular incident? Those all you need to know. If you ignore this and thinking that people are playing ping pong, we're not here for playing games. I remember when Cliff Oyoya then were shouting, we have a roadmap. Tony Nadi was shouting, roadmap. Where are they today? Simon Ekpa, if you have any common sense of value to yourself, roll out your agenda to restore Biafra. Leave Mazi Umeh and IPOB alone. You've been warned. We'll be signing it as warning, just like Chinas and World today. All of them are confessing. The day we will start, we will refer you back to today. We warned you from the beginning, but you didn't listen. You think it's a joke, or maybe you live in Finland. You're untouchable. It's a lie. You're nobody. It can be touched. People, if Onyendu can think Onyendu, if Onyendu, nobody is untouchable. Don't forget the crime he committed is a cyber crime. I repeat it again. And he also informed me that he is standing very strong on Biafra freedom. This is rubbish. All these things I'm asking, this message, where did he get it from? You know, some people will come there and type, yes, like this. But they're not asking you a critical question. You don't take order from somebody like DSS Dungeon. Why are you getting message from Onyendu? Now you're trying to rope Onyendu in your criminality. Onyendu does not send message to you. Mazi can have attorneys. No individual will send message. Onyendu will only give rights to individual. And it will be known. So I don't want to make this a too much issue. But the reason why I'm beckoning on this is that for some of you that are confused, thinking that this is a joke, it's not play. People's lives have gone on the line. Our leader is still languishing in the SS dungeon, so it's not something you will take for play. And he's saying, finally, he directed me to inform Biafra that he's very sick. He's rubbish. All these are, he's playing, you know, this guy is like a format, you know, for you gullible fools, you know what I mean? And all of you are falling for this nonsense. It is not for Mazi Umeh. Like we said, we don't go wrong in what we do. We take our time. When some of you were talking about DOS, told you no, forget about it, because DOS was instituted by Onyendu. But the day we found out that they went against Onyendu, so that was the end. So it's a difference between those people that were instituted by our leader by someone that is outside the door. I'll end it there. But I want to play one guy's voice before I end this program for a reason. To buttress on what I've just said. For some of you that are still confused to what you need to do to yourselves.
But we need to put hands together to use our minds. Use our heads. Remove emotion.
The reason why I don't want people to get this out of context. Yeah, this is not saga, but this concerns an issue because this very individual, this guy lives in Germany. I don't really know his name. I don't want to know his name, but he's one of those people that were vocal. They were the one who supported autopilot. He narrated how many groups he have joined. Then you ask yourself, are you a member of IPOB? You believe in Biafra struggle. How are you going to make headway? We don't have a direction. But just to confirm, how many groups have they formed within this period of time? Tells you all you need to know. Nobody hears about Nelly or Fable today because it was in guidance principle. All this was pre-planned. A job, all of them was there. They're all involved. Just to get to IPOB finance. That's why they fraudulently shot all IPOB. What do not tell you? They want him to die in prison. Because if you don't have any fund to fund for our leader, it's not like they're getting any money to give to Onyendu. No, of course they don't. They are not paying anything. Then they commonly pay for the radio to start with.
Mazi Umeh, he is here where he is today because each and every one of us supported him. And we are still supporting him. But at the beginning of this very new autopilot, after, of course, what you know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's quite funny, but let me allow him to speak because not
what happened during the US. I was the first person that began the fight against the impunity of China Sanguru in GOS and the rest of them. And then we moved to Nelly. Nelly was so much hunger about power. About power. Today she has failed. The same thing right now have replicated himself again under Simon Ekpa. That he has undermined every structure of the Eastern Security Network. Turned some of the Eastern Security members into his own mercenary. It means that whatever crime that he have committed or are going to commit, or people that are going to die in the future, innocent people that are going to die in the future?
Anyway, I don't want to give him any more relevance. I just want the way he mentioned names. The reason why I allow this is because I'm saying it because we have a fundamental issue. And how that problem started is one of the things I touched tonight. And it's not with any prejudice, but it's actually to point you to the right direction. And some of you now start going into sober reflection and thinking about your commitment towards the oath you took. A lot of people need to start going back because all these things you've seen is charade. In every flank you see, Simon Ekpa, Chikeru, all these people are in it together. From the beginning, they knew what was going to happen to Onyendu. And their primary agenda was to destroy IPOB within, which is attack the radio and the finance. And they cut the radio. The radio, they couldn't got it in 2015-16 because of the former deputy leader stood there. He was standing alone. Some of these people were there then, but they couldn't talk because all of them was against him even then. You've seen today. They could not see the light of the day then because there was a barrier. As soon as Onyendu was rendition, Kina Sanwo surfaced from nowhere, made himself the commander of ESN. Who made him commander of ESN? Ask yourself a question to that. So that's my point, and that's the reason why I allowed that brother to air his view. And all of us know what is happening in West Africa now. There's a very, very interview that I watched about EFF. The reason why I will allow this to play is because I've said it over time. A lot of people don't know the struggle. In every country, struggle is not a wishful thinking. A lot of people today, we hold Mandela, Madiba, to esteem because of the price he paid. But the point is, within the enclave of those people under struggle today, and there's one thing about IPOB and our leader. I have never one day had Onyendu say a word against our internal leader. But when he gone back, the EFF is within the ambit of governance in South Africa, which they gave them. They have their own cabinet within the leadership of the South African government. So their inclusiveness is there, and their voice is quite strong. So there's an interview, very, 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 very impeccable lady, and there's issue about kill the Boer and this issues. So I relate it to our struggle, because it's quite something that happened when our internal leader was convinced to come back home to join the polity. At the end of the day, it was really cool. And before Onyendu emerged, Wazirike came, Wazirike couldn't do anything. Instead, they turn against our people, just like what people are doing today, because instead of you to protect your people, you're killing them. It's not why we're here. You can't hurt our people. We will pay price if it's consensus that now we want to declare war, then we know everybody will prepare for it. But not hurting your own people within. It doesn't make any sense. Everything we have done is we try to, because we already been oppressed. It's a common sense. So we're supposed to be in a mood of de-traumatizing our people. We allow them to make decisions, not to put them into agony. But when the time is right, then it's a consensus. People are okay now. I think it's time. Because IPOB have built a platform that whatever we say things, people listen. But the case is reversed unless we only speak. Like I said, Monday sit at home, all of us give a grade in it. But the point is, we didn't know that Onyendu never actually authorized it, that override Onyendu's order. So I want you to listen to this particular credit to the. I need to give you a credit to the television because I didn't touch it.
Especially knowing at the very least the sensitivities associated with Kill the Boer. The EFF feels it must be sung.
Number one, we are not the children of Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. We are the children of Winnie Madikizela Mandela. We are the children of Chris Hani. So that whole propaganda and nonsense that was sold to us in 1994 about a rainbow nation without respect restorative justice is not selling with us all. The inequality here in South Africa has grown tremendous since 1994. So there was no justice that was given. We remain landless. We remain with our children dying in pit toilets. So there's no justice here in South Africa. So we're not going to unite here in South Africa until there is justice. And that includes economic justice. We are not going to have.
Yes, I'm gonna leave it there. She spoke, very, very passionately, and she made a distinction, very, very, very decisive. That's why I advise people go and listen to Winnie Mandela's burial, and this guy Malema spoke on that. That's why some people didn't know that after Mandela was released from prison, shortly he divorced his wife. His wife was labeled terrorist, whereas he was touring around the world. There's a reason for that. And that struggle has continued with this face of EFF today. And the same now as looking all of us in our faces. And I think we should, IPOB is a phenomenon. And I know that this particular trial, this particular turbulence we are in now is what meant to be to get us in a different position. Because I believe that after all this turbulence, what is going to unveil will marvel the world. That's all I can say. But let us take a lesson and know that struggle is not something that you gain by wishful thinking. You must be very, very precise and determined and doggedness. And at the end of the day, it is only the hardcore. You say 100 men and women with clean hearts. And the wave that is going in West Africa, you have seen it. The queue, so many countries actually need it. You know what I mean? If it's that new generation have to change it the way they are doing it. And it's because France has frustrated. ECOWAS should have using one currency today. Passport, all the money was put in place in this project. They frustrated it. When the euro came, France take up euro and pushed the French CFA to all the former colonies. Now they were using their money, not the ECOWAS who were supposed to be using the same fund. It was only Guinea-Conakry that rejected it. And they have been growing. Their GDP is coming, I don't think it's 80% is coming from Africa. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, this is a revolution. And there's all this strength has been driven by the vision of one man, Oyendo Mazi Umeh. And people must not take it for granted. Those that were opportuned to be part of this journey. And I encourage every single one of you, IPOB member, I remind you again, that is your duty and duty care to make sure you take up your responsibility. We must fall back to our various families. And we'll be tied anybody that join IPOB for their own personal gain. And it is there in our code of conduct that you can question things that you know, irrefutable, anything that you know that is facts. It is your right. Like I said, I've asked questions. I'm not the type that's, I always ask questions. I always ask questions. Not in a disrespectful manner, but I will ask you a fundamental question that requires a straightforward answer. And when you don't give it to me, I know you're a pathological liar. And from that moment, I will stand down to assess whatever you do. And that is the kind of person I am. Regardless the opposition, because at the end of the day, the chain command trickle from the bottom to top and from top to bottom. You cannot override it. The day you try to override that chain, that you broke that chain, that chaos is what you're going to be experiencing. And perhaps that's what majority of them is facing today, because they cannot stand their own shadows any longer, because they created a hostile and chaotic atmosphere within the family. IPOB was once a loving, and I still believe it's a loving family, because I believe those that are decisive, those that believe in one accord of IPOB, not holding that, because the problem we have is majority of people have driven by sentiment and emotion, holding allegiance to individual, maybe someone you like or someone you don't like. That's not how you work. Just like when you go to work, you have colleagues in work, you can't stand them. But you dare not say it. You have no choice. That is real life we are living. That's the fact of life, and you have to deal with it. So I thank every single one of you for listening to Good Evening London. And this is Biafra Radio. I'm going to leave you with our leader's prayer, as always. I indulge every single one of you to continue to pray for Onyendu and his entire household and IPOB worldwide at large. We shall continue to be strong as one family that we are, regardless the tribulations and turbulence that we are facing in this family now. It comes and go. The sorrow comes in the night, and in the morning we all shall rejoice again. And I believe that very soon Onyendu will join us, regardless of what our enemies are doing and those the agents or provocateurs, those that are supposed to be, defending him are those that are against him, but it's for a reason. Because at the end of the day, will do what he say he would do. He have never disappointed us, and he shall continue to lead the way for us till Biafra is restored. Once again, I thank you for listening to me. My name is Mazi Umeh, and this is Good Evening London. Thank you very much.
Onye anyị na-efe na-agọzi aha nsọ ya, onye duru ndị ya n'ụzọ ije si ebe niile dị iche iche ma ala Biafra. Anyị na-enye gị otuto, anyị na-enye gị nsọpụrụ, anyị na-enye gị eja n'ihi ihe gbasara IPOB zuru ụwa niile oke. Onwe ebe ọ bụla ị gara ahụ IPOB nwụ ụmụnne n'ime nzọpụta na nwere onwe Biafra. Anyị ji ofu obi were ịhụnanya were mmekọta nwanne na nwanne wee na-aga ije. Ihe na-asị na ọbụghị mmadụ dị ndụ mana ọ bụ nsogbu abịa. Anyị na-asị na Biafra ka kapịta nke anyị. Ise ọgbọ bụ ndụ mere ndụ azụ. Nwa mmadụ nwekwara nwa mmadụ ha anyị na-ekwu ọ ga-adịrị Biafra na mma. Ise ihe Chineke nna nke pụrụ ime onye obi ya nwa na onwe ya kere anyanwụ ka anyị na-edewa n'ụbọchị n'ime mmụọ na eziokwu. Sozi nwere onwe Biafra.
Anybody I curse is cursed. Once I condemn you, you're finished. Ask the Sabo, those that tried to take over power when I was in prison, because I valued them, thought they were doing what we all swore to do. As soon as I went into prison, they started to connive to take over power. Where are they today? Because I cursed them.
What they like is in public. What stupid country is that? What stupid country is that? I'm killing my people. I am killing IPOB. They are killing my people. After killing my people, you tell your name in secret. The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell me, that's what I said. That he's mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me.
Absolutely nothing. I need them to understand this. We've crossed the Rubicon, the point of no return. There is nothing anybody can do. Biafra will come.
Biafra Alpha Power Media International. Biafra Alpha Power Media International.